Look, if you think a relapse happens out of nowhere, that there's no warning signs, we call the prelapse phase, then you are sorely mistaken. And your life, I may trigger you, but your life is going to continually suck because it's going to be relapse after relapse after relapse. After doing this for 20 years, we found there's three specific things that happen to look out for in order to combat when a prelapse is starting to come on. Here's what it looks like. So most of the time, people focus on triggers. All this is a stimulus that is outside of your control. It's something that happens externally. In the program, they call it people, places, and things. Basically, it's anything that evokes an emotion from within. The reason why we want to look at this is because if you're getting triggered, what happens is external stimulus, aka trigger, what it does, it leads down to a thought process. The first thought, out of your control. Just the brain's crazy. Wild things happen. First thought pops in. It's kind of like, what the hell? Who invited you? But there's something called a sponsoring thought. That's the second thought that you do have control over. So what happens is you get triggered, initial thought. When you don't know about the sponsoring thought, you think the thinking's out of my control. You start to ruminate on something. What it does is it releases these little chemicals called emotions that you start to attach meaning feelings and emotions. You feel a certain way. And when you feel a certain way, you tend to give action or what we call reaction. So think of it, it's like this carousel. Now what happens is with the cycle, if you've embedded and conditioned it again and again and again, but in a negative way, where you have broken this process by looking to sedate, to numb out, to use, to drink, whatever it is, you've actually habitually conditioned your brain. Anytime there's an external stimulus or a trigger, we're going to go right to drinking if the emotion is too much to handle. So you can see these three things that are actually linked to each other, but it all starts with the stimulus or the trigger. So I'm going to encourage you, stop focusing on the trigger. Stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Just by doing that, that is what creates the internal conflict. That's what creates the pain. That's what creates the suffering, because we're trying to control people that we can't control, places that we can't control, and things that we can't control. It all starts up here with that sponsoring thought. So the next time you feel yourself start to get into that prelapse phase where you find yourself triggered, first thing to do is hit pause. Literally just a timeout, you hit pause, you take a step back, and now there is a part of the thoughts. So think of the thoughts as the tip of the iceberg. Below this is the stories and the meanings that you attach to these thoughts. A thought by itself is irrelevant. You can have thoughts. I can drive down the highway, someone cuts in front of me, and my first thought is I'm gonna kill you, you SOB, rage monster. As soon as that thought comes in, I can go, oh, I don't need to attach a meaning to this. People can cut me off. Doesn't mean they don't like me. Doesn't mean they suck. Doesn't mean I suck. Now, the sponsoring thought, and here's what made the world of difference for me, just in this one analogy. By now, the sponsoring thought of thinking, they must be in a hurry. I hope they get to where they're gonna go and be okay. There's no charge, there's no pain because of this stimulus. Now it's not a negative trigger. Because I look at the sponsoring thought, attach a different meaning to it because of my stories, because of narrations that I create, now it releases a different set of chemicals. So my emotions and my feelings are completely different. Same stimulus, same trigger, can't control, but I can control the thoughts and the stories and the narrative that now release feel-good chemicals. I'm in my la la land just going, I don't care if there's traffic. This is great. I'm actually okay because I love being in this mindset, this thought process that I used to actually hate. Now I no longer react. My actions become responses. I'm response able. I'm able to respond in a healthy way because I understand how the trigger is literally just a stimulus for this thought process that is tied to my narration and my stories. So the reason why this is important and why I wanted to share this with you really quick is because by changing your habits and your stories, you can recondition your brain, your entire network of how it's wired, so you can respond differently and you can feel differently. So comment below one small takeaway that you learned from this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.